Hello and welcome to Cigar Night. My name is Rick Guzman, and tonight we are with my man Anthony Santiago, who's visiting us from the great city of Chicago. My man, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
Yeah?
How are you?
How's your flight here, man?
It was good. Quick,
Yeah.
That's pretty lucky. Like San Antonio, Chicago flights, really quick. It always ends up being early. Like
Yeah.
every time the itinerary or whatever it is, the confirmation will say 3 hours, and then it always ends up being like 2 hours. Or something.
Yeah, it goes by pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's a good flight. Right now we're here in Texas. It's January, and we're in a long sleeve, but nothing too crazy. And up in Chicago, It was like what right now, like 30, 20?
Yeah. It
Below
was
zero.
Well, I mean, when you guys came, it was really
Yeah.
good weather.
Yeah.
But like we were saying like earlier, it's been much warmer winter, which is a little yikes. But it's pretty good because the winters over there last all the way until like May.
Sure.
So I'll take all the heat that I can right now.
Absolutely.
until it comes.
So for those who don't know, you're a working actor in Chicago right now. And I went to visit you recently, and it looks like you're doing good, man. You're making a name for yourself. How's that going?
Yeah. I mean, shit, it's been crazy. I mean, I've been in Chicago now a total of 3 years. One of them in school and one of them out of school. And I guess really like now being like a working professional actor has been those 2 years, and it's been crazy. I mean, it's definitely a hard work and grind and adjusting to the city and just really getting yourself and your name and your face out there, taking any opportunity. Not taking any opportunity you can. You can definitely choose to say no, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great work going on. There's a lot of storefront theaters and there's a lot of equity theaters in Chicago, so there's definitely...
That's something I wanted to ask. So a lot of people, when you think of acting, you think, oh, New York or LA. But Chicago has a theater scene, a little bit. How does that compare to like New York or LA, Chicago-wise?
Yeah, dude. I would say a lot of it, honestly. Like, wow, hey, great first question, really. Like, that was or not first question, but really good question. Chicago is a fan-fucking-tastic scene. It is when you're comparing all three of them are really great. I think what really comes down to it is the lifestyle, like that you want to live. I think right now, just in the current state that we're living in, it's very hard to maintain being an actor and also living in big cities like LA and New York.
Yeah.
And with Chicago, it's very, very, very affordable, and there is still a ton of work there because, like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of storefront theaters, and I feel like maybe, I would say that there's probably more storefront theaters. Not facts. I don't have any real like sources, but I will say there's definitely a lot of storefront theaters, maybe compared to New York and LA, where it's you're really just auditioning for a lot of mid-range to big projects. With Chicago, you can work and do a lot of stuff and meet a lot of cool people and get yourself up and working and adjusting and making connections, while you can still actually be able to afford.
Yeah, I think a lot of people overlook Chicago too. Like I said, with acting, it's like, New York. Everyone wants to go to New York, but Chicago has a scene.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is. It's very. Even the city itself, it's very convenient to kind of get around.
Sure.
I know LA has.
Traffic.
You have to have a car. You have to have a car in LA. New York and Chicago, we're very lucky. We have public transportation that's very, very reliable, and it gets you to every part of Chicago that you want to.
Right.
And those public transportation passes, they are very affordable. Also, you can make monthly payments on those and get yourself around the city at all times, whether it be to auditions, to work, to just hang out, to live and still adjust and try to be a working actor. It's really great.
Well, I'm really glad you're here, my man, and we got some cigars waiting for you.
We do.
So you got your cigar cutter, you got your lighters there. These cigars are courtesy of my cousin from Mexico. So these cigars the brand is called Factory Cigars, and they're handmade in Monterrey, Mexico.
Hell yeah.
So I haven't tried these yet. I'm very excited to try these. So thanks to my cousin for bringing them. Let's try it, man. It's good.
Hell yeah. Was that pretty good?
That's awesome.
That's pretty
dude.
good. Wait, what was your cousin's name again?
We call him Junior.
Junior. Thank you, Junior.
Yeah,
These are great.
yeah.
These are nice. Hell
Sweet.
yeah. All right. You said this one was it?
Yeah, that's my lighter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Does it have juice in it or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Should
okay.
be good.
All right.
Yeah, man. Let's try.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers. I'm gonna try my cedar strip. That's the thing I'm gonna try. So we'll see how this goes.
Am I doing this correctly?
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Here, I might use that. It's windy right now, so the cedar strip's not a good idea.
Yeah, let me get away from the wind. Hold on.
Man, it's great that you're here, brother. I must say that we talked about this for a while. Like, oh, when you come down, like we're gonna do this episode, and we were almost did it in Chicago.
Almost did.
We almost did, but then when you said you're coming down, I was like, oh man, we'll just wait, just do it here. Back home, but
And I definitely don't have like a porch or like a back door area.
Sure,
in
and it's
Chicago.
pretty cold. One of my favorite memories of us two. So we went to high school together.
Yeah.
I've known you since middle school, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I visited you in Chicago, man, like 2 years ago. I think it popped up on my Facebook, and but my favorite memory of us too is it was, I don't know, 20 degrees outside, like it was below zero easily. And we got some cigars and we were smoking them outside your apartment window.
Hell yeah.
And it was freezing outside, and we're like by your window, like smoking a cigar and stuff. It was great. Like those are great memories, and I'm glad you're here, man. It's surreal. It's surreal seeing you.
Yeah. Well, I remember when you were there, like I couldn't just miss out on like not smoking a cigar with you. And yeah, it was like there was snow everywhere. It was bad, but luckily in that apartment, so that apartment was actually huge. It was like a 6-bedroom apartment, and my room was on the other side of the house. And at the time that you came there,
was
I
like
had
a brick wall like on the other side, or it was like another apartment building on the other side.
It was like all of the rooms, and then like I don't even know, like if you go left to right, all the rooms, or like 5 of the rooms, the kitchen, the living room, and then the 6th room, like all the way on the other side. And I had just moved there or something. Like it was fresh, like just moving there.
It was fun.
And I was like, shit, I'm about to smoke a cigar indoors right now. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But I was a little worried, but I was like, I don't care.
We had the apartment window going. It was fine.
Yeah, it was good.
It was
I may
fun.
need that lighter again.
Sure, absolutely.
Look at the center
So, when I started Cigar Night, I tell this to a lot of people, but honestly, when I was starting Cigar Night, there was a lot of people, a lot of my best friends, close friends were coming to my head, like, who could I interview? Like, what's the purpose of it? And you were definitely one of the first people I thought about, because, this podcast is about bringing people on here and showing them that, hey, they can do it too, right? Setting your mind to something, and they can do it too, and bringing other people, telling their stories, what they've experienced, advice for other people. I think that's very important. So I admire you because you did something that I don't think I could still do today. You have this dream of being an actor, right?
Yeah.
And you left everything behind to move not only to another like city, but like a whole other state, a whole other part of the country. You left your family, you left your friends, you left your home, what you knew, and you left it to a whole other place, not knowing what the hell you're going to do. You're just like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to live it. And, now, like you said, almost 3 years later, and you're doing it. I mean, you haven't given up, and it's, maybe it's felt like a while, but you're definitely growing, And what has that experience been like, leaving home to a whole other part of the country by yourself, not even knowing what job I'm going to have? Like what is that experience, if I may ask?
First off, thank you. Yeah, it's crazy. It really is crazy. Yeah. I think, well, at the time, like I said earlier, the first year of the 3 years was in school, and man, honestly, I remember thinking the senior year in high school, I remember, what's funny? I remember not thinking much about it at all.
Yeah, you just did it.
That was really what it was.
Yeah.
It's like, senior year came around, and I guess maybe the societal pressure that you feel where people tell you, like, after high school you go to college, that's like, I guess kind of the societal norm of what people try to tell you how to live your life. And I remember when it got to senior year, I remember thinking like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, I gotta go to college or something. And I very much love acting. It's definitely my passion. It's definitely something I want to do, or just being around the arts. And I think senior year, just life in school, after school, like back home or whatever, kind of shit happens and makes you like into the person that you are. And in that moment, I was ready to just get away. Like, I was so ready to just do anything but be in San Antonio. And at the part, I hated it. Like, at the part, like, I hated Texas, I hated San Antonio. I was like, get me the fuck out of here. And so I think I didn't really have I wasn't really worried in a weird way, like kind of in almost a delusional way, because I didn't really think much of it.
You're just like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this, and we'll figure it out later. Yeah,
and so that's exactly what happened. I ended up, luckily, getting into a program there for a year, and it ended up not working out just because we couldn't afford it.
But opened doors for you,
Yeah,
at least it gave you an experience of what Chicago was.
And it helped because, you go to school and you just meet a lot of people. So I already like set that foundation there of just, having friends and acquaintances, and and then moving back, that was credit to so many people that helped me along the way, people that let me live there, people that got me jobs, people that, put me in faces of other people to do acting and to just be around there. And it's been a hell of a journey, but always have kept home close to my heart. That's
San Antonio's home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I hated it. Like,
well, you wanted to get away. It's like senioritis, right? Like, I want to get out of here. Like, the whole idea of moving away for college. Oh, like, I hate home. I want to be free. I'm an adult now. Like, I want to be on my own, and I think it's a normal feeling, but I think the whole idea of moving to a whole other state, and then deciding to go back, and I applaud you, because that's braver than I am. And so you're doing it, man. And with that, like, okay, 3 years. Has it felt like a long time? Has it gone by fast? Like...
Hell no. Hell no. Oh my God. I mean, okay, well, the last time that I visited San Antonio was technically in April of 2019, but I was only here for 2 days, and the time before that was September of 2018. So I really considered September of 2018 that, because it was much, much longer. It wasn't as rushed as the amount that you want to do in 2 days. So it's really felt like a year and a half, and man, that thinking about that, like a whole year and a half since I visited home, or in a whole 3 years since high school. Like, yesterday I went back to Mac and I was like, holy shit, it's been 3 years. Like, what? Like, and
it's going on 4. Yeah.
It's wild, but I mean, hey, that's what honestly happens. Like, I mean, life is
gonna keep going.
Yeah, life moves at its own pace, and time moves at its own pace, and how you live your life will depend on how, I don't know, I guess how fast
life's gonna keep going. Like, if you stop, this is my mindset with school and stuff, and work or whatever. Like, let's say you give up halfway, right? And I don't know, let's say college, right? But time's gonna keep going, right? So now 4 years later, you're gonna be like, oh, I would have graduated now, but it's what you do in that time period that dictates, like, if you're successful or not. And I don't mean successful financially, I mean successful in how you feel, right? So, okay, college wasn't for you, but did you just sit on your ass for the rest of the 3 years? No, like, you went out, you got a job, you grew with the company, you got financially stable, you got your own place, right? And that's more than other college students are even doing, right, after they graduate.
Yeah.
But if you just, stop at school after your first year and say, well, I'm just going to sit here, watch TV.
Yeah.
Well, then that's on you, right? Because life's going to keep going.
Yeah.
It ain't going to stop for nobody.
Yeah.
So, you keep working, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. I guess I would say I'm very fortunate in having a strong idea of what I want to do, and so that kind of led me into a mentality of being able to work hard and to pursue like all of what being an actor entails. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a weird, certainly a weird way to live. I mean, that's why I like coming back to Texas, because it's just much more slower pace.
Yeah.
And it's much more calming.
One of the things I noticed visiting Chicago this last time is everyone's in a rush. Like, we even said it, like, when we're going on the MTA, on the CTA, on the train, like, everyone's in a rush. Like, you're going up the escalators, and people don't wait the escalators to go up. Like, people are running up the escalators. I think there was one point where, like, you stayed to the right because the people who are in a rush, they go on the left side of you, and I was standing on the left, right? Because, like, in Texas, like, hey, everyone's chill, like, whatever.
Nobody.
I know, and, like, there was people behind me, like, complaining because I was just standing there in their way, and you're like, hey, you gotta, like, come to the side. And everyone's in a rush, and I think Texas, for the most part, I think, you know, it's a lot calmer. You know, I think we're all calm here, and it's funny. I recently met a friend of mine. I recently met someone who is from New York. He just moved to San Antonio, and he was like, man, you know, that Southern hospitality stuff, like, that's real. And I'm like, yeah, dude, because, like, the first day he came, he came for work, right? So we're in the same job, in the same work field, and another coworker invited him over. And his mom made us, like, breakfast and stuff. And he's like, man, like, this is great. Like, you know, this dude's mom who met me today is making me breakfast. And she's like, yeah, it's a Hispanic thing. Like, you know, come down south. Like, this is how it be. And, like, he was all... The one thing that stood out to me was that he was saying that when someone talks to me in New York, it's because they want something from me. And I was like, I never thought about it that way. Like, here in Texas, like... We're at Walmart, and, like, you know, you're talking to the cashier about her day. You know, like, every time you see somebody, you're like, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. Never talked to them in my life, never seen them before. Like, that's how Texas, southern states, right, are. And it's real. Like, it is a legit thing.
No, it's funny when, I would say a thing that I guess you learn when, like, leaving home is you kind of then actually see how the way that home, I guess, like, operated. And so that was one of the very first things that I noticed, like, straight out the bat. I was like, oh wow, holy shit, Southern hospitality is a real thing. Like, man, people are just fucking nice to actually, like, be nice. And, and I wouldn't even say that, like, being up north or being in these big cities automatically means that, like, everyone's a dick, but it really does more come down, I guess, to the big city living. Like, everyone, I guess, really maybe not even, like, consciously, but, like, the time thing is something
everyone's in a rush.
Everyone's in a rush, and everyone maybe feels the pressure of the city that makes you think that if everyone else is in a rush, I'm not doing enough.
I'm in a rush.
So I need to go. I need to go. I need to do this. I need to do that. And yeah, I remember when you guys came here, shortly before you guys came here, I noticed, I was like, I'm in a rush to go to places that I don't even need to be in a rush for. Like, I don't have, like, it's my day off. Like, and I'm trying to haul ass to go to, like, who knows where or whatever. And I'm like, why? I need to, like, I can slow down. I don't need to, because then it becomes, like, really, like, really mentally, like, draining and taxing when you're just constantly going and going and going and going and going. And yeah, a lot of the times you really got to allow yourself to, like, just breathe and just be able to walk at normal walking pace. Like,
one of the things that suck is living by the airport. You have planes flying all over you.
We got the planes.
Very nice. You know what was interesting as hell?
What?
Is that when we went to Chicago to visit you, you know, we were talking about going to see the zoo. And I mean, this is a Texas thing, so if you're not from Texas, like, you won't understand this, but we were, like, talking about the zoo and the animals, and you were like, yeah, the Chicago Zoo has cows. And we're like, cows? What do you mean cows? Like, yeah, like, cows are rare in Chicago. Like, and we're like, dude, drive 10 minutes to, like, outside of San Antonio, and you'll see, like, a whole field of cows. Like, man, you can go up to them and pet them. Like, dude. And over there, like, it's so rare. Like, wow, mom, look, a cow. Like, it's crazy.
Man, that's crazy.
Like I said, it's a whole different part of the country. Like, and you went to that coming from Texas. Like, it's insane. And to change the subject just a little bit, I got this question from someone I interviewed, and I want to ask you the same thing because I felt this with Cigar Night. This last few months I've been doing this, but this whole idea of giving up, this whole idea of like waking up and saying, "Why am I doing this?" Right? Like, even with this podcast, like, there was at one point I was like, "Why am I doing this?" Like, I'm not making money off of it. Like, I'm doing it for me. Like, I'm dedicating so much of my time to this, but like, why? Like, why am I doing this? Like, no one even cares about it. And then I'm like, nah, like, it's making me happy. Like, this is what I want to do and stuff, Like, So I want to ask you, like, is that something you've experienced? Is that a feeling that you felt in the last 3 years of being in Chicago? Like, is that... I want to know if I'm normal. That's what I want to... Like, is that normal feeling?
You're absolutely normal. Dude, aside from us two at this table right now, billions of other people feeling the exact same thing. Yeah. And to be honest, dude, I'm feeling that shit right now. Man. Just right now. I mean, I don't say that's like a
negative
constant feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, or a negative feeling. But yeah, I mean, I've been out there. I've been working professionally for 2 years, and man, 2 years is nothing. It's like 2 years. I mean, like how we're saying, 2 years flies by, but the amount of work, the amount of just commuting, the amount of working jobs, doing shows, doing internships, doing whatever to pursue what you want to pursue. It really does take a lot of time and effort and hard work. And yeah, I mean, right now, before you guys came and visited me, I guess to give context for the people listening, they had just visited me like 2 weeks before this was shot, and before that, those 2 weeks, man, I was so hard on myself. I was laying in my bed all day, literally did not step out of the house once, and just constantly just really feeling down and really feeling like, yeah, like, what am I even doing? Is this all worth it? Like, this is, there's so much happening all the time. I don't feel like there's ever a time to take a break and stuff. And
you're so far away from home. Like,
yeah, I'm so far away from home. Like, yeah, from Chicago to San Antonio was ridiculous. And yeah, honestly, I've been feeling that right now. Not gonna lie. I think it'll still be okay. I definitely think it's like a temporary feeling.
Yeah.
I definitely know what I want to do in life, but I think it's kind of normal. Also, like, I have to remind myself to forgive myself and to be easier on myself, because I'm only 22. Like, you're 21, 22. Yeah. Like, we're so young, and maybe I think I know, like, what my life is right now, what I want to do with it and everything. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just it could just be very taxing.
I think that a lot of people, and I think it's just a human nature thing, that we want something now.
Yeah.
We want it to happen fast, and when we start something, we want it to end quick. Right? Like, you're doing a podcast, you're starting it, you want to be big the next day, right? After your first episode, you want to have 1 million views and get paid and all that. And I think that's just the human nature, right? Like, we want things fast. I think society has put that on us, like, just how technology is, how fast things are, right? Like, you can ship something the next day, right? Like, you can get it. It's this whole, like, I want it fast.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the show you guys just came up and saw, that was, like, definitely, like, the biggest, most, like, professional show that I've done. Yeah, I mean, like, after that, I'm like, all right, like
I'm big time.
Now we're doing nothing but all these.
And unfortunately, like, it's not real. Like, I mean, it's not. That's not reality. Yeah. You got to be patient, and you got to work for it. The Golden Globes just happened, and if you listen to, like, the people receiving the awards, and not just this last one, but all of them, they're all talking like this was hard work. Like, this wasn't like a one-day thing that I'm here, like, winning this award. Like, like, it's work, years and years of training and working hard. And, you listen to successful people, and most of them are like, yeah, like, I was living in a car. Like, I was broke. Like, I had no money. Like, and then I just, happened to start this. Like, everyone suffers. Like, no one is excluded from that.
Yeah.
But I think it's when you feel that pain of, do I want to give up? Is this even worth it? It's like, I love the music in the background. It's like, if this is even worth it, it shows you how strong you are as a person.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you can overcome this feeling and feel like, okay, I felt this way, I feel like I wanted to give up, and now I want to be successful, now I'm gonna work harder, it should motivate you. Right? That feeling of negativity in yourself. So I think it is a normal feeling this way, feeling like giving up. Is this all worth it? What am I doing this? But use that to your advantage. Use that feeling to overcome it and become a stronger person.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you can overcome that, then you can overcome any other obstacle that you come. Because if you're already fighting within yourself, how are you gonna fight the obstacles that come that are from something outside?
Yeah.
Something not even internal, right?
Absolutely.
So I think it's important. So I'm glad that you shared.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I'm feeling right now, but I think it also is. I don't see it as a con. I mean, I don't see it in really like a positive or negative way, but I will say a pro to what I'm feeling right now is that it's helped me kind of, it's given me more awareness or clarity on how
to like what's around you,
what I want from my life, or what I need, or what's lacking. Like, for example, I mean, I'm feeling burnt the fuck out right now. I think from this feeling of like giving up and this feeling of just being down on myself, I think lately I've been thinking it's just telling me to find more times to chill, letting myself be okay with just chilling in a big city, and finding more times just to focus more on my health, and ways that I get that is just like from stretching, doing deep breaths, like taking like breathing exercises, meditation, but I definitely need to do more of that, and I like to freestyle also. Freestyle helps. Yeah, freestyle helps. But if anything, it showed me things that I need to add to my day.
Sure. Things
that I need to add to my daily routines. Things that I need to be mindful of, because I know that maybe by not doing those, I may fall into the pattern of working too much or having my mind cluttered too much to where I get too tired.
I think in general, self-care is important, right? Self-care in anything. Even if you have a successful job, everyone will get stressed out from it, right? Mm-hmm. Right, we all get stressed out from our daily lives, and I think self-care is very important. And I talked about this in one of my episodes. What do you do to get away from everything? Whether it be music, whether it be working out. For me, it's running. Like, I love running, and running for me, it's that way to burn my energy. That I have this built-up energy that I just, sometimes I'm pissed off for no reason. Yeah. Right? Like, what do you do to, like, relieve that energy? Like, everyone has that, and I think self-care, and not necessarily working out, like, that's an example, but, like, meditating, yoga, like, all that stuff. Like, dude, do something that gets you away from your normal life. People take up photography, taking pictures. You recently got on a camera. You're taking like a bunch of pictures, but like that's like a hobby. That's something else that it's new. It's something that you enjoy. Has nothing to do like with your work, right? Not necessarily you, but like, something that's outside of your work field. Yeah. Gets you distracted, even if it's for an hour a day, something self-care, something that you can clear your head. Yeah. I think it's very important. So.
Yeah, I would add to that, like, something that has helped me with like self-care routines or how to combat those feelings is I get very tired of patterns, and like, I mean, life is literally just nothing but patterns. Like, humans are like literally pattern seekers. Like, We wake up every day, we brush our teeth, we get changed, we go to work, we eat, we sleep, we do this, yada, 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 all these patterns. And I feel like finding, trying to live life as mindfully as I can be, and also how to approach every day as like a fresh and new day, or how to approach every activity or every pattern that I'm doing fresh, and to keep myself not being bored of it, because I think that's something that I also fall in a trap to, where it was like I would stretch and I would meditate and I would play basketball and play video games and stuff like that, but then eventually I'd get bored of it. And I think stuff that is like help that is maybe, okay, I don't need to set a time every day where it's like, okay, I need to do this by this time, because then I'm not really mindfully doing those practices. I'm doing them now because I have to abide by the rule that I've made to myself of, hey, I need to do this every day. And I don't think that will help at all.
Right.
Like, hell, maybe that's why like working out is such like a hard thing to do or whatever, because maybe just getting the motivation to do it, and then also getting the motivation not to like get bored with it, or get into the pattern of working out and then feeling like yeah,
I feel that.
I feel like that probably adds to also why when you work out you like switch up
your routines and
you
stuff.
switch up routines.
Yeah. That's
besides like the logistics of like
the
working
science
certain
behind
areas,
it, yeah,
certain areas of your body.
But it's a mental thing too. Like after a while,
Yeah.
you start doing the same. It's like, when you're running, and you decide to run on a treadmill, or you want to run on a track, and you're running in circles. For me, running on a treadmill, I can run the same distance, right? Let's say, but on a treadmill, it feels so much longer.
Yeah,
it feels so much more boring. Yeah. Because I'm literally in a stationary place. Like, I'm not moving physically. Like, I'm just staying in one spot. And it's so boring. A track, it's literally a circle. Like, after a few laps, you're like, all right, like, I've seen everything already. Like, I'm bored. Yeah. It feels so much longer, right? But running on trails, running in the woods, like, the distance you're running, it's something different, right? You're not going to repeat that view unless you do laps. But I don't know. I think it's that same idea.
I have a question for you. When you go running, do you go to the same trails, or do you switch it up?
I switch it up, and it depends. One, it depends on the distances, right? Like, how much am I going to run? What do I feel like running today? Yeah. I have my long trails, for long runs, and then, for shorter runs. But I switch it up. I don't run the same trails every time. Yeah. I try to switch it up a little bit. Yeah.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because I was gonna start adding like taking a walk at least. Don't have to have a specific time of how long it's gonna be. No. But then I've thought like, I should just go in like every direction possible from where my house is.
I would recommend don't worry about if you're thinking about taking up walking or running or something. I wouldn't worry about distance. Don't think of like, I'm gonna run through. Think of like locations. Like, I'm gonna run here to, I don't know for you, like, I know this is completely far, but like here to the Navy Pier or something. Yeah. But like a location, right? Like, and then don't worry about how far it is, right? Because it might be longer than you expect. When you see a number, it freaks you out. It's like, whoa, 5 miles? Like, I can't run 5 miles. Yeah, but if you just set a location and don't even know how long it is, and when you get there and then you see how far it is, you're like, whoa, I did that? Yeah, you can do that. You set your mind to something, you can actually do it.
Hell yeah, man.
So,
dude, your Instagram, you're like running like half marathons.
I'm running,
like, every
dude.
day.
Oh, man.
Hey, I appreciate you for that, man. Like, you're not even, like, we're both small dudes. Like, maybe the last thing I should be picking up is running. Like, I need to like put some like fucking muscle and meat to this body, but. Dude, no kidding. Like, you've inspired me.
So, and I don't know if like anyone else like, cares, but like for me, like posting it on my stories, on my personal page, like posting stories of what I'm running. It's not for anyone else. Yeah. It's for me holding myself accountable. Right? Because accountability. Because once you like start posting things, right, and then it's like, oh, I gotta post like something of me running.
Yeah.
I gotta post like my trail today, so that forces me to go running.
Yeah.
It's holding yourself accountable, right? It's
Hell yeah.
finding like little things. I took up this Nike Run app, and it like counts like your miles that you ran and stuff. And like ever since and it has like achievements. And like when you're running and you break your own record, a voice comes on and it's like, dude, keep it up. Like, congratulations, like, you got this. And it makes me feel so good. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, but it's that holding yourself accountable. Like, oh, I gotta use the app today. Like, I gotta post it on my story. Like, I gotta run. But it's not. I don't care what anyone else thinks. It's for me, right? Exactly. Holding myself accountable.
Exactly. 2020 accountability.
2020.
Yeah. Well, you said there was like achievements. Like, how many gamer gamer points do you have now?
Oh, no, I don't know what gamer points.
I know, right?
Dude, it was like,
miss that shit?
Dude, that was good times.
Hey, I don't care what anybody says. When you're growing up, it was Xbox 360, yo. It was Xbox.
Oh, it was Xbox all the way, dude. I
As you get older now, it's PC. It's PC. It's
Is
PC.
it? I wish I had time to play games. I'm not gonna lie. What motivates you, man? Like what when you think going back to like, oh, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling like giving up. What comes to mind, and you're like, I'm doing all this for, what's the reason? What motivates you to keep going?
Yeah, I'd say my motivation has certainly changed over time. It's definitely. I remember, like in high school.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
motivate your goals to change, or what your motivations.
Yeah,
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's just maybe. I think that just comes maybe with age and just finding yourself more. But in high school, I remember just your own like personal life experience and families and stuff. Like there were some like hardships that we experienced in high school, and I remember being like, this is like the lowest that I've been. I don't want to hit that. Like I need to do better than that. I remember, I guess from like kinder through 12th grade, I was like a slack off kid. Like I was a fucking asshole slack off kid. I didn't do shit, didn't do my homework. I did not fucking care.
You're a rebel
for anything. Yeah, rebel. I'd argue back. And just fucking wreak havoc for sure. Can we cuss on this? I don't even know. Oh, okay.
Whatever.
So I remember just. Oh, and I remember, nobody thought shit of me. Like, like I didn't make any good grades. Like I always got in trouble, like in the offices and everything. I mean, that didn't really happen much like in high school, but like growing up in like elementary, middle school, like I would constantly get into arguments, fights with teachers, students, just whatever to be right.
Right.
And so what fueled me then was, it's like junior, senior year, like I haven't tried worth a shit. Like what do I like? And experiencing those hardships with my family and in my personal life made me reflect on how I had been living, and I was like, I need to like start doing my homework. Like I actually need to start making grades. I actually need to.
This actually is like important.
Yeah, I was like, oh wait, shit, these numbers matter. I gotta like college. They I mean, not if you go to the theater conservatory, but they just want you to speak their fucking lines. But what you call it? And then in college, I was like, I am out in Chicago. I'm out in this big city. I want to be great now. Like, I mean, when you compare San Antonio to Chicago, the opportunities to be a professional actor are definitely like on the opposite spectrum.
Right.
And I was like, I'm now here. Like, I actually have this stuff that I could use to my advantage. So I wanted to do that, and then leaving college, or not leaving college. Well, yeah, leaving college. Having to leave college, then it kind of really put this kind of like scared mentality in my head, and which I think what we were talking about earlier about the societal pressure. I was like, what? Like college? Like life's over. Like what do you mean? Like I'm supposed to do college. I'm supposed to go there and do that and finish it, and then I get the degree, and then I work a job, and I be an actor and shit, whatever, yada. But that kind of made me really feel like when I moved back to Chicago, I have to do as much as I can fucking do. Yeah. And it's helped a lot. And now, now I will say my motivation comes from what I want from my life, like 5-10 years from now. You plan your future, and you want these certain things or whatever. Maybe you want a house and a car and a family, and I see myself wanting to be at a certain level in my career, in my field, in life, that I know that if I'm not focusing hard on, or if I'm not working towards that, I'm not going to reach it. And I think also family. I think family has that. My ties to my family have increased tenfold once, I guess, you have that turning point from being a teenager, a young adult, to now experiencing adulthood and adjusting. Because I'm thinking, oh shit, like, dude, I need to be like rich. I'm like,
I need money.
I need now, like, I'm 22 and I have I'm already an uncle 3 times. I cannot. I want them to be in a comfortable position to truly do whatever they want when they reach that level of leaving high school.
Sure.
If they want to go to college, great. They have all 4 years paid off. If they want to fucking travel and experience life and culture and find themselves or find their interest or whatever, I want them to do that. Like, every flight and hotel is fucking booked and paid for or whatever, I want them to be comfortable to where they can truly live in this world and actually have the time and lack of being worried on, like, having to move at the pace that, I guess, the system that we live in pace. Because I know that, hell, maybe I don't regret anything, but if you want to paint the ideal life, I would love to have left high school and then been like, okay, now I want to tackle everything I want to do, like, what, I want to pick up an instrument and I want to learn this, or I want to really go visit fucking New York or something and experience what that is, or whatever the case is, and I don't think we, I think societal America and the people we don't have that. A lot of people don't have that privilege. That's what it is. A lot of people don't have that privilege. I want to build on my life and build on my career so that I can create generational wealth and that my family can have that privilege, but in a responsible way and not be fucking like assholes and fucking like greedy, selfish,
the right way.
Like, yeah. And use the advantage that they have in a way to, like, truly find themselves. And when I say that, I really mean in like in a like spiritual aspect, and just, I don't want to be like, yeah, you know what, you want to go to fucking New York and, like, party it up or whatever and shit, and just, pop bottles and do all these drugs and, like, fucking impress your friends and shit. Like, no, like, that's not at all what I want them to do, but I just want them to have the freedom and comfort of
not worry.
Yeah, to not worry.
I feel that.
Well, I mean, I don't think like I don't think money and I don't think money takes away the, like, ability to worry, but I don't know, just to
something less to worry about. I mean,
something less to worry. Something
something that I
money
didn't
is
have.
a fucking
Well, it's that whole idea of, like, as a parent, you want to give as much to your kid as possible, right? What I failed at, I don't want you to fail at. What I didn't have, I want you to have.
Exactly.
And I think that's just a human nature, right? That's the whole mindset of some parents, of uncles, of aunts.
Yeah.
So that's great, man. I agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
Let's change gears. Let's change gears. Let's get some positive up into this.
That was positive.
That was positive. Yeah. It was. Let's talk something completely different. Let's get. You went on like a hiatus off of Instagram for a little bit, right? Yeah. You went on a hiatus, and you recently made a post. You started up an Instagram account again. I thought it was gonna be a personal one. You came back, and I was like, "Yay, Anthony's back!" But you're doing something different, and your Instagram, it's the art of breath.
Yes.
Yeah.
The art of breath.
And you've been posting some things. What describe the art of breath? What is the art of breath?
Yeah, the art of breath. So, I kind of said it. I kind of mentioned it multiple times since we've started the podcast. But like I was saying, when I moved to Chicago, I was so just focused on, I need to do acting, I need to do this, and I went 1,000%, just full fucking speed into that. Where now, as of 2 years later, I realize there's a lot of things that I have lacked, like the self-care and being able to take care of yourself. And I found myself in the city, being burnt out as I am right now, and just asking myself, where is the time to take a breath in this, in my life? Where is the time to just I don't know, just to be chill and to live my life and work towards those things, but not feel just all this pressure, that I was putting on myself or something, or maybe the societal pressure that you feel. And so it was three things. So it was that. It was so it was all of that. Second thing was social media. I really hate it. I really do. I fucking hate it. I hate it so much. But it is something that I acknowledge as necessary and definitely a good tool to have, not only as an actor, but just keeping in touch with friends and family. And but I wanted to use it in a mindful way. And then I also got very, very, very annoyed of the algorithms or the patterns that we were speaking about on how to use those social media platforms. And so, for example, Instagram, I put a photo of my face, and that shit will get around 100 to 200 likes. That's great. That's awesome. Sweet. I'll post a photo of a fucking tree, and it'll be 20 or 30, and I'm like, this shit sucks. This tree is just as dope, or no, it's more dope than me. Why is this not getting as much likes? But then if you want to build a brand, I felt like a lot of people use that to their advantages. There's there's a
I'm an Instagram model.
Yeah, there's literally Instagram models and all this shit. But I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it that way. I was like, I don't want to post 1,000 photos of my face or of myself that to get me this amount that I'm trying to reach for or whatever, or to build my brand or to get more followers and stuff. And so with the art of breath, I wanted to use social media in a mindful way to where I can consistently post stuff, but being away from my phone. So now for 2020, I'm cutting back on using social media in general. And the only times that I will use social media is whenever I want to update myself on the world and news that is going on, or any personal things, whether it be basketball or football, or
just to keep in touch with the
gaming, But I don't want to be trapped into the scrolling stuff and that and I recognized how much time I was putting onto that. And you also get those weekly updates on your iPhone of you've been on your fucking phone for 20 fucking hours every day. You want to cut that shit out or something. And I thought of those three things. So, and with not wanting to post myself, I wanted to find social media. I wanted to use social media, but in a more in a more
like share your
in a
work.
way that's more artistic to me,
yeah, and I
and
think
something
you're
that
doing that, yeah.
I can like. I wanted to use it as a tool where I can actually like.
Share something. Share your
Hey
work.
man, remember when I said that like I wasn't the smartest fucking cookie? I'm having a hard time trying to word this shit right now, but like,
so
artistic expression.
Yeah.
But
So let me see.
yeah.
Let me share this, and maybe it'll come give you ideas. I've noticed with the Cigar Night page on Instagram, I find myself posting more on that than my personal page, because it's not about me. You know, I'm posting. If you follow the Instagram page, it's cigars, and it's like sometimes it's pictures of me, but I'm usually holding a cigar. Like it's something to do with a cigar, and there's some quote, inspirational quote. But it's like, you know, I love cigars, right? Like that's the whole point of this podcast, sort of, right? Like cigars is what it revolves around, and so I find myself posting more about this instead of my personal one, because I don't know, it's like my work in a sense. So there's something more like about that than just my face. I don't know. I kind of see where you're going with it. I get what you're saying about the, you know, use social media in a positive way, sharing artwork, you know, coming together with people who have similar interests, and you know, sharing your work. You know, those are positive things of social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I really enjoy. When you first made the Art of Breath, you know, even the name, I'm like, what does he mean by that? Like, what the heck does that mean, Anthony? And no, like I get it now. Like that makes perfect sense. And then your recent post that you make, it's all like, you know, it's art. It's not art, but it is art. It's the earth, right? You're posting like pictures of a garden, like, you know, nature, I guess is the correct word.
Things that really interest me.
Yeah. And you'll be surprised, like people will be like, man, I actually like that stuff too. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like cigars, like you go on Instagram for cigars, like there are so many cigar pages. And like I try to follow as many as possible, because I learn things from them, right? I'm like, oh, that's a cool shot. I wonder if I can do it similar, or if I can even make it better.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, there's still gonna be like photos of me, and there's still gonna be photos of stuff, but I wanted to revolve.
Wrote like,
I don't even know if that's right.
Yeah.
I wanted to use the Art of Breath, kind of like as like monthly kind of monthly stories or monthly themes. Like what you've seen in January was like all those photos of photos that I took in a botanical garden, and they're a lot more like there's a darker tone to it. It really reminds me of like an indie movie kind of vibe, and
I like that. So every month is something different.
Yeah, every month is gonna be something different. Yeah. So so I recently got a camera, and I've just enjoyed, I guess, the way like certain movies and TV shows that I've liked, and it just kind of has that kind of lighting to it, and that kind of you know,
the
feeling or aesthetic, and so I was like, I want to, for the whole month, like kind of shoot shots like this, and then who even knows, for February to be different, yada yada yada. But I still wanted to make it kind of personal. You know, there's already photos and posts lined up that will feature like my face and everything, but it's more so the story I'm trying to tell in the whole month. And with every post also, I do kind of write kind of like a title to it, and like a quote that's just really resonating with me in the moment, and then I put like a paragraph of just stuff that is actually genuinely on my mind, because that was another thing I noticed, is like we're all using social media, but we're all like, it's just another mask, it's another layer. Like you know, you meet strangers, and obviously you're gonna have like a mask and a face, and you're gonna not be able to be comfortable to fully express yourself because you don't know this person. Or in regards to like the entertainment industry, you know, like how you said, a lot of people want stuff from you, or a lot of people are only talking to you because
they need
of certain things. And it just felt very fake to me, and that thing was very, you know, taxing on me, because I wanted to use it in a more genuine way.
Sure.
So that's why I added that stuff in the post where it's like, nah, I'm really gonna tell you what I feel. Like in the first one, I was like, yeah, here we go, 2020, I'm sad as shit. Like that was literally like the first one, and I felt great doing that because I'm like, I don't want to wear these masks. I don't want to fake it till I make it. I don't want to, play by the rules. I don't want to play the game the way that they say you have to play it. And so I just am gonna, be more genuine about it, or post things that I actually interest me, or kind of tell it in a more format that is of a story month to month, and try to build it that way.
I think that's a very accurate statement. A lot of people, I've seen so many videos over this, but it's like this the whole notion of posting pictures on Instagram or social media of you living like an amazing life, but really like your life's shitty, and you're putting this face on for everybody because you want to impress people. Yeah. But be real. I think be real with yourself. I think sometimes putting your feet on the earth and accepting where you are is a good way to start fresh. If you keep faking your lifestyle, then that's what you are.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like fucked up, but like you're fake. How can you grow, right? Like if you are not happy with yourself, like put your feet on the ground and say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I am right now. Yeah. If I want to get to where I'm at, I need to accept what I am right now. Yeah. And make those changes. And I don't think it's always negative, but like, I think it's good accepting.
I think the reality of it is that a lot of people don't know who they are, but they're just kind of, I mean, not in a negative way, but, a lot of us, we all are one point just sheep. Mm-hmm. We follow the trends, we follow pop culture, we follow, we grow up, we follow our parents, and they're, I think, not that people are intentionally fake. I mean, there are those people in the world, but I think what it really comes down to is a lot of people really don't know themselves or are trying to be something else. And so I just wanted to use like my social media in the way that I wanted to use it, in the way that I actually like feel right now. I don't want to use it in the the algorithm way that will get me the amount of likes or followers that I want to do. Sure. I don't want to have to go see these shows or go see these parties because people are going to be there or whatever. Like I don't want to do it like that. Like that makes sense. And because I see that in person, like, oh my god, for example, holy crap.
We're getting real, man.
Hey, we're getting real. So I go to this party, a very recent party. I don't want to say anything more, but somebody there was just like, they were talking to me in like a business standpoint way. Like we introduced each other. We got introduced through a mutual friend, and it just seemed like they weren't really trying to know Anthony. They were like, they want to know Chicago actor Anthony, who maybe has some stock to his name or something.
How can you help me?
Yeah. Which is just goes what you said. Yeah.
Sure.
And that shit sucks because like I'm in my head like, you don't care. okay, this is what we're gonna do now. Okay, because now you're that acquaintance or you're that person in my life, and I don't want to live by those interactions. I don't want to produce those interactions. I don't want to consume those interactions. I don't want to be involved in any of that. So I just am going to use social media the way that I want to use it, the way that feels real to me, and to be far off of it. And so that's why I also wanted to do the monthly stuff, was because I want to have the months planned out, but I don't want to have to be on my phone every day scrolling, yada yada, this and that. Like, I'm gonna get on them. I already have the month posted. I already have the month planned out. I already have the days in which I post. I already have the time in which I post. I already have the photos. And I get to my phone and I set that all up, and then when it comes down to the title and the quote and the body paragraph, like, it's just actually how I feel, and it's like what I'm gonna talk about, and so art of breath, and I think there's a lot of, and to me there's a lot of truth in that too. It's like it is truly an art form to allow yourself to breathe in a world where it makes you feel like if you're not doing more than the next person, then you're not doing anything at all.
Right.
And that shit, that can be the downfall of people. Like, I mean, it could, I mean, at this time, like, it could be the downfall of me, where I'm like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to move back to San Antonio. I can't deal with these certain situations that I'm faced with, where I feel like they're like something I no longer like want to be a part of, or something. It's just something I don't want to be a part of.
And it makes you happy, right? Like, it gives you something to look forward to, something to do. I think that's, getting away from the daily life we talked about earlier. Like, it's a hobby, it's something different. Like this podcast, like, it's something completely different than what I do. Like, it's something I look forward to. Like, it's something I look forward to doing.
It's great.
So, yeah, I think that's
But
cool.
I love it because your whole audience probably knows this, but like, before the Cigar Night podcast, there was Cigar Nights.
Yeah,
and they were great.
Cigar Nights.
They were. I mean, they are great. They're fucking awesome. We're gonna have one like right after this. But like, it's cool because everything that we're talking about right now is everything that we would talk about in our actual Cigar Nights.
Yeah,
and it was so uplifting, and it was so like enlightening, and I think this is what I want more of. Is face-to-face. That's another thing. I want more face-to-face interaction. Like, I will move with the times. I don't want to, fall behind and, not know how to use like an iPhone 100 or some shit. But like, I don't want to be controlled by it.
Sure.
I don't want to be controlled by it. Like, life now is up in the web, in the internet, in everything. What do? We check the news, we check our Twitter, we see World War III is about to happen, or fucking whatever, like Super Bowl's coming up and stuff. Like, it's just all there. And then when you come meet face to face with strangers or friends or whatever, it's always like, oh yeah, you know this thing on the internet. Like, that's like, our conversations are coming from the internet. But like, I want to just be off of my phone. I want to like look at people and like talk to them and like have just more interactions that start like that.
Well, going with Cigar Night, like, that was a whole thing. I felt that it was unfair for other people on the outside who didn't get to be in our conversations at Cigar Night. Like, I was like, these things are so cool.
Oh, man.
Like, we're talking about life, and I feel like people our age are so distracted from like these things, right? Like, they don't know who they are and stuff. And like, I get that. Like, that's a feeling. Like, I understand you. But like, if you just surround yourself with people who have those same ideas, who can uplift you, and maybe let's come together instead of like being against each other. Like, let's support each other. Yeah. So I felt like this podcast was a reason to start and share these stories, these ideas with other people. Yeah. So that they can too feel like, oh, wow, like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And like, okay, surface level conversations are necessary, but fuck surface level conversations.
So,
and
deep,
I like,
man.
I like living in this space where it's more intimate and we can talk about stuff that's really on our mind, because everyone's struggling. Everyone is going through their own shit in their own way, and then we just step out of our doors and we pretend that I feel like that does more damage to you than
holding things in can hurt you.
Yeah, and
emotionally.
Absolutely.
Talk feelings out. I mean, not
just have a conversation.
Yeah, like, talk to people.
Like, that's why I like with our Cigar Nights, like, we don't fight over what is right or what is wrong. No. Like, we're just literally having the conversation, because a lot of people
start to argue.
A lot of people don't have those conversations. A lot of people can't have those conversations, and a lot of people won't have those conversations. Yeah. And a lot of people don't even care to have those conversations. And I just feel like that's
it all. I think it all depends who you surround yourself with, man. Like, surround yourself with like people. If you surround yourself with people who are worse than you because it makes you feel better, how does that impact you? surround yourself with people who are potentially better than you. Why? So you can be like them. So you can look up to them and be like, man, I gotta be like them because they're super cool.
Yeah.
Like, but look at what they're doing, right?
What they stand for.
But instead of like looking at them, like instead of looking at them from afar and being like, oh, I'm so jealous of their lifestyle. Like, how about become friends with them? Let's talk it out. Like, let's talk. And if you are like, and I think in our friend group, we are all in different backgrounds and but we all have similar interests.
Yeah.
Right. But we all uplift each other. Right. Like we're all good in certain areas, different areas. Yeah. Right. And like we don't put each other down. We might joke, but like we actually like, hey, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's something that we're lacking of. In each other, like, and just in the daily lives, like, instead of like, how can you put people down? Like, hey, let me help you. Like, what can I do for you?
Yeah, that's a great thing that we had naturally found in our group was that we, like how you said, you have your heroes, you have people that you look up to, and there's a point, I guess, in growth that you no longer you don't of course you want what maybe somebody has, but I think if you flip the script and it's more like what they stand for, because that surrounds you with positive, uplifting people who actually care for you. And to me, I already have the mentality. I'm kind of fucking delusional, honestly. I'm a little fucking delusional. Like I truly believe I can literally do whatever the fuck I want, and not in a way that is like harmful or damaging to others. But like I want to be an actor. I think I can be an actor.
You are, dude. You're making it happen.
I think if I want to pick up an instrument, I can learn that shit and play you a fucking song next week or so. Like that's how my mind works. So I no longer, in my life at least, I no longer look to people and be like, I want what you have. I want the role you have, or I want the money you have. It's like, no, I already know that I'm gonna get that. Now it's just more so meeting people and being like, hey, like, what do you stand for? Like what do you stand for? Damn, I almost sounded like the Hamilton song. It was like, what do you stand for? What do you fight for? We won the war. What was it all for? Okay. Oh god. No musical theater, please.
I got questions. I think we
cut out the music. I love musical theater, but I'm not talking. Cut it out.
I think we've talked, about that, and enough. So let's change the subject. Maybe one last good question. Yeah. Let's finish with a strong question.
Yeah. We can do more light stuff also. We can just we can talk about life.
What we ate. Let's do one last good question because we're running out of time here. Let's you moved to Chicago, leaving home, leaving your family, leaving everything you knew, right? Like, this is literally where you grew up. To a whole other part of the country you went to follow this dream of becoming an actor. If someone approached you and was like, man, I'm thinking of like moving somewhere far away from home to follow my dream, not necessarily acting, but I'm scared, right? Like I'm scared to leave home. What advice would you give that person who wants to do that,
Hell yeah, dude. Oh my god. Okay, so I will say I actually have been approached already.
Sure.
By multiple people who have considered like moving and one, I fucking applaud you for one, just even having the thought, because I think the thought is where it really starts, and if you have an inkling to have any sort of experience that you think will benefit you, like moving, going, experiencing other culture, a new world, pursuing whatever you want to pursue in life, one, just do it. I don't want to use the Nike fucking logo.
No, but like just
or
go
like,
and do this. Like, don't think about it.
Yeah, plan it out, but don't. You know what? Hold up, because we don't need an answer right away. Let me sit in silence.
Yeah.
And
sit in
this out.
silence, man. Hey.
Let's
Let's sit in silence. Let's ponder on.
Let me
this.
take a breath. No, oh god.
Oh.
My advice.
Dramatic pause.
Dun dun. Allow yourself to learn. Allow yourself to unlearn. Be confident in yourself and show that to other people, because you will inspire other people, and also people will also see that in yourself, and they would want to help you, or they would want you to be in the room, or they would want you to go to this audition, or they would be kind to yourself. Learn to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, because life is truly that. It's learning to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, because to use me as an example, I could have expectations and goals and aspirations, but I have no control of how it will happen, what time it would happen, and so allow yourself to be okay not knowing and figuring it out, and to not care what others think, to not let any outside source influence you. Truly follow your own heart and intuition into anything that you want to tackle in life, because if people are doubting you and you do it and you go out there, then that's great. Don't let that fuel you, but rephrase that. If people are doubting you, don't let that stop you from at least experiencing this.
Yeah.
Because it could work out. It could be something that you truly find that you love. And also, don't let maybe the fear of what people will say, even if the experience didn't work out. Don't stunt your own growth based on self-doubt. Remove self-doubt as much as you can, and trust in the ability that you are going to throw yourself in situations in life and just figure it the fuck out, because if anything, then hey, you don't do it and you come back home.
Yeah.
Or hey, you liked New York, you didn't like it as much as you thought. Cool.
You tried it.
Try another state.
Yeah.
Hell, try another country.
Yeah.
Hell,
There's this thing called the what if that I always try to tell people, and it's you never want to ask yourself what if I did move. Yeah. Man, what if I did go to Chicago? Yeah. Man, imagine, like, what if? I think it's like, you could have asked yourself this, now, like, what if I didn't go back? Mm-hmm. Or like, what if let's say you didn't go to Chicago and you would have stayed here. What if I would have gone to Chicago? Yeah. Man, I might have made it, but now I'm stuck working a 9 to 5. Like I didn't like. Yeah. You never want to ask yourself the what if. Yeah. Like, do it. Like, set your mind to something. Like, plan it out. Yeah. But try it. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You fail. Hey, you gotta learn. Yeah. Right. You learn from your mistakes. You learn what you did wrong, and you try it again. Yeah.
Learn to fail.
Allow
yourself to fail.
Yeah.
Because you're not. Don't compare also your experience to other people's experience.
That's true.
Because my God, like,
and we do it unintentionally, but yeah, like
allow yourself also in times of confusion, or when you are tackling any situation that faces these tough questions, allow yourself to sit with yourself and have this conversation. Yeah. Have those conversations with you, Fucking write a pros and cons list, dude, like, any way that I was, like, talk to people, talk to yourself, have those things, you know.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be millions of voices around you and in your head to tell you all the reasons as to why it won't work.
Sure.
But there's only one true voice that will lead you to the way, and that is our Lord and Savior. No, it's yourself. It's yourself, and with that, you will
You'll never
conquer the world.
You'll never know if you don't try, right? Like, try it. You know.
Yeah.
You might succeed. You never know. Like, don't listen to the haters. Like, you know, if you got something, if you want to do, follow your dream. Like, I'm making a podcast while we smoke cigars. Like, you would have told me this 2 years ago. Dude, I would have told you, like, this is such a stupid idea. Why would I do that?
Dude, podcasts are booming, yo. I wholeheartedly believe in you in this. And
Thank you.
Like,
I really appreciate it.
It's fun. It's really
it's
great.
Fun,
yeah,
right? It's cool.
It's
like, and you know what? So what if, like, 5 people listen? Like,
dude,
you know, I'm happy doing this. And if I can make an impact on someone's day, like life, even if it's just one person, everything I've done, all this work is worth it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Like when you asked that question about you know, what would you tell people? Like, like exactly how you said, that feeling of people even asking me. Like, I would have not expected that when I decided to leave after high school to go there. Like, I didn't expect other people to in their own lives be like, oh shit, you know, like Anthony did something similar, or Anthony did something that I had been thinking to do in my life.
I wonder how he's doing.
Let me ask him how he did it. Like, dude, holy shit. I can fail hard. I can fall flat on my fucking face. But the fact that, like, those couple people have asked me that, like, that blows me away. Or the fact of just doing it.
It makes you look back too. It's like, I've done all that. Like, yeah, like I actually have done this. It's a great feeling, man. I'm really glad that, you know, you came down. I'm really glad that you have shared, you know, your stories and what you've experienced these last few years. And man, it's great.
Thank you, man.
I believe in you, and, you know, I'm so excited to see what 2020 brings you. This whole new decade, what brings you. Do you have any idea, you know, any goals for the new decade, man?
So 2020 is going to be, you know, the take a breath stuff, you know.
Sure.
I'm still gonna work hard. I'm still gonna, you know, stay true to that and true to my goals and aspirations. But I'll definitely am going to teach myself to relax more.
Sure.
But for the decade, wow, Roaring 20s.
Roaring 20s Part 2.
Right now I wanna. I've been fortunate to do both theater and film for the 2 years that I've been here, and I think now that I want to focus more on the film and TV aspect, I want to really, you know, triple down on that, build my resume, you know, create a lot of my own stuff, you know, with, and which, you know, the Art of Breath will just be one of those things. Go home more. It's been I think we said in the beginning, but it's been a year and a half. And I'm already gonna come back here in March. That's set. So, you know,
yeah, man.
Just flow. Also, shit.
Go with the flow, man.
What's happening's happening.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
All things align.
All things align, man.
All things align,
dude. All things align.
All things align.
You
know what I've been looking at? We said the word pattern so many times, and then on this mic right here, it literally says the word pattern. It's like looking directly at me.
You know why? Because all things align. All things align. Dude, The Art of Breath, Mr. Anthony Santiago, thank you so much for coming down, my brother. Our cigars were short, man. We've been talking all this whole time, man. We've been at it, dude. This is great, and you know, I hope you come down more often back home because, hey, we miss you, brother. Cigar Night group, we miss you. But you're doing good things in Chicago, and you know, I want to go visit you more, you know, so it gives you an excuse.
Oh, thank you. Hey, real quick, shout out Ricardo fucking Guzman, fucking Zach fucking Pastor, Seth fucking Guerrero, for for coming out. That
Yeah,
was
man.
that was really sweet. They came out to Chicago, and I was able to take them around, and they were fortunate enough to see my show, and
great show.
it was truly, dude. It was truly a blessing. In
It
that
was great,
time,
man.
like,
It's great.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I'm so happy.
It was
that
great.
you guys
And it was
enjoyed
just seeing you succeed, seeing where you're at now. I have high hopes for you, man, and I can't wait to see what this new decade brings you, what 2020 brings you, and I'm excited, man. But I think this will be it for Cigar Night.
Yeah.
This is Cigar Night with Rick Guzman, Anthony Santiago. Thank you so much for coming, my brother.
Woo!
And you guys have a great night.